Second try. The universe really doesn't want me to record this video. First of all, yes, I recorded this yesterday. First of all, after I finished filming, I realized I was not wearing my glasses. So I was like, you know what? Fine, I'll let it go. Then I started editing, and then I realized like I framed it weirdly. And I was like, fine. My friend was like, just zoom it in, you'll be fine. So I did. And I was okay with that. And then I started actually going through the footage, and I kept looking up for some reason and I couldn't deal. So we're recording again. But you know what? All I wanted was to record this before October. So here's your September wrap up for the second time, I guess. I read Rein Me In by Hyla Gross. It's a small town cowboy-ish romance. I saw it a few times as I was going through Kindle Unlimited, and I finally gave up and I read it, and I actually enjoyed it. It's a plus size main character. He is her brother's he is her deceased brother's best friend. So after her brother dies, she leaves her small town. Something happens, she comes back. She's dealing still with this grief even after, I think it's 5 years have passed since her brother died. She's still dealing with that. I cannot remember their names. Should have written them down, but I didn't. But he he also lost someone. His father died. So it's both of them navigating through their grief separately and mostly together. But it was a really nice story. Best part, no third act breakup, which is my favorite new thing, honestly. I don't want to deal with it. There was a slight age gap. Nothing that bothered me too much, because honestly I'm not a huge fan of age gaps. So it's a good read, kind of to pass the time. Very cute. He is a simp for her. I think I gave it a 3-something out of 5, so definitely recommend. Since I enjoyed that story, I then read I Like You Like That by the same author. I hate saying that it reads like a fanfic. I feel like that's unfair to a lot of really good fanfics out there, but it read like a bad fanfic. Premise of this story: she is a pop star. He is an ex-cop turned into private security, and she has a stalker. So he becomes her private security. They knew each other in childhood, but they haven't spoken for many years because something happened. Obviously, something always happens. So it's them navigating that new relationship. So I kind of like the idea of the pop star bodyguard relationship, but it didn't deliver, man. The stalker plotline felt really undeveloped to me. They were very hot and cold constantly, like, I like you, I hate you, but not in a cute way. I don't know, it didn't really, I didn't really enjoy it, unfortunately. So then I read a Kingdom of Stars and Shadows series. I don't recall if I knew that it was a series, but I read it. They're all pretty short books, I think less than 300 pages each. First one I really did enjoy. The premise of the series is about Adora. She is a star blessed. She essentially gets promised to the prince because of certain reasons, and when she becomes of age, she gets shipped off to be with the prince, and she kind of falls for, or is curious about the prince's brother. His name is Evren, and it's this whole thing about Evren and Adora. They are mates, they are fated for each other, and the prince is horrible, the queen is worse, the king is just there. And I don't know, I really did enjoy the first book. I remember reading the reviews, the Goodread reviews, and everyone, it was 50-50, I feel like, but I genuinely enjoyed the first one. Second and third kind of went downhill for me. It felt like it was more about their physical relationship, Adara's and Evren. Also, parenthesis. Since the first book, I realized that Evren's name backwards is Nerve, and I could not unsee that. Each time I would read his name, I would read it as Nerve in my mind. Anyways. So it felt more about their physical relationship than the whole essentially plotline that they try to give you at the first on the first book about her being a star blessed and finding this whole thing. I wish the author would have developed further the whole being a star blessed and what that entailed, how that became to be, the magic on the kingdom as a whole, like how it functioned, why some people had it, why some people didn't. The rivalries between each kingdom, I feel like that was just kind of breezed through, and it was all about Adara and Evren and being fated and being mates and how their whole thing that I don't want to go into spoilers in case you want to read it. And then the fourth book is like a spin-off, if you will. It's about Talia and Soren. Talia is another star blessed, and Soren is Evren's friend. And it was okay. I did like them on the previous books. I liked their like banter back and forth, and so I was excited to learn that the fourth book was about them. It was okay. Didn't absolutely love it. Also, there were 2 different wars on this series, and I felt like it was so much build up to these wars, and then they were resolved within like a page. So I don't know. As a whole, I think I would rate it maybe a 3. So do with that what you will. The only physical book that I read this month was Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. I don't know that that's how you pronounce it. I saw this book on TikTok, and it intrigued me because it is a villain and she is his assistant, and I wouldn't say it's like a huge romance, but it's there. I found it curious that you don't really find the villain's name until page 51. That is what he is known as, the villain. And Evangeline, or Evie, is his assistant. She's a nice girl from a little village, and she is struggling to make ends meet, so she stumbles upon the villain, which no one in the village actually knows how he looks, and he is super attractive. So she starts working with him. It's a story, I guess, about how the lines start to blur and that moral compass, how things start becoming, I guess, more acceptable for her, and what's good and what's bad. They are so flirty with each other, and they kind of don't want to admit to themselves even that they like each other. He's very soft with her, and it's very obvious to everyone but him, because he does a lot of things, or accepts a lot of things that she does that he wouldn't for his other employees. He's very forgiving, and he's not with everyone else. He's grumpy and gloomy, and I'm the villain, you know, that type of thing. And she's also very flirty with him, but it's her boss and he's the villain. He could never feel like that type of relationship. But I found it very cute. I did laugh organically as I read the book. Again, as I saw reviews afterwards, it was very 50-50. A lot of people like it, a lot of people don't. I did enjoy it. He has a sidekick called Kingsley. It's a little frog that was very clearly a prince before he was a frog, and he holds these like little reaction cards, and it's just honestly the cherry on top for me. It was really funny. And the plot twist at the end, I genuinely did not really see coming until towards the end, that pieces started like clicking together. I was like, no way. So it was a nice plot twist. It's also a series. Again, did not know it was a series. Only found out afterwards, or as I was reading, I was like, is this a series? And it is. So this is first book out of 3, I believe. But it was really good. It ends kind of on a cliffhanger. So, and then the last book I read, it's an ebook. I usually don't really purchase digital books. I read them on Kindle Unlimited, and then if I like them, I'll buy the physical book. But I almost never actually pay for a digital book, except for Happy Place, because obviously I love her. So I got the 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I wanted to read something, definitely not at work, because I would never do that. I didn't really want to read anything I had saved on my Kindle Unlimited list, so I bought this one, and honestly, I have no regrets. I am mad at myself that I didn't read this sooner. It's so good. It made me feel like Emily Henry books make me feel. It's such a beautiful story. It's about Clementine and Ewan. I don't think that's how you pronounce his name, but that is his name. Essentially, Clementine's aunt dies, and she wills her apartment in Upper East New York. The catch with this apartment is that it has some sort of magic, so at any point in time she can go into this apartment, and it's going to be 7 years in the past. So whoever lived or was in that apartment at that point, they are going to meet. So her aunt always told her, she had 3 rules: don't step in with shoes into my apartment, I don't remember the other one, and don't fall in love in this apartment. And obviously she does. But it's so beautiful. It's again another story where grief is dealt in such a beautiful way. It's not just about how sad she is, but how mad she is at her aunts. Overall, it's such a raw and beautiful story of them falling in love with each other, even though they shouldn't, because they don't exist in the same timeline. It gave me the Lake House feels. I like the movie, the Keanu Reeves, Sandra Bullock movie, which I love. I haven't seen it forever. I should watch that. But it's kind of that same idea, that they're existing in 2 different timelines in the same place. He is so cute with her. He calls her Lemon because her name is Clementine. I love the fruit names. Say what you will, I think they're super cute. And the fact that he always calls her Lemon is just like, the magical aspect of the apartment, how they are kind of interlaced, Lemon and Ewan. I don't know, it was just such a beautiful story. I've been thinking about it since I finished it. I stay up until 1 a.m. even though I had to wake up at 5 for work to finish this book, because I needed to know how it ended. It was so good. I want to read it again. I wish I could read it again for the first time. I need to buy the physical copy. It was so good. It's one of those books that I'm just gonna start recommending to everyone, like I do Emily Henry and all these other books that I enjoy. But yeah, honestly, if you haven't read The 7-Year Slip, read it. It's definitely my favorite book of September. 5 out of 5 stars. I need to read it again. So that's the September wrap up. I hope I don't hate this, because this is the one I'm gonna upload. But anyways, I wanted to do a reading vlog last month. I got sick, so I didn't. So hopefully I'll be able to do it now in October. I do have a TBR picked. I don't know if I should do a TBR video. I never stick to TBR, so I won't do the video. Scratch that. But I'm very excited for the next month. Hopefully I'll be able to do a reading vlog and upload it. So we'll see.